Well, it's a good week for basketball, and it's a good thing that we have Coach Joey Thacker of the Franklin County Lady Flyers. How are you today?
Doing well. I appreciate you having me.
Glad to have you on the show. And congrats again for another regional championship, 11th region. You guys won Friday night, beat Scott County. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Well, I thought our kids were real resilient. We kind of owed them one from the year before. They beat us by 1 point last year. That really stuck in our kids' mindset throughout the season.
It was a late foul, right?
Yeah, with 1 second.
That's devastating.
So, yeah. But I just feel like that we did everything we needed to do from a defensive standpoint to sort of keep them out of sync. And, we had some people make some really big plays when they had to. So.
I've got the highlights here. I'll play them while we go through it. But I can remember last year I was sitting in Qdoba watching it on Prep Span on my phone, just watching that last game, and I was cheering them on from right there in the restaurant. I was out with some friends, and I was just watching my phone. I didn't care what was going on around me. Just keeping an eye on what they were doing. So yeah, that was a tough one last year. It was good to see them pull away with it this year.
Yeah, I really hated it for our seniors last year. We spent so much time game planning. This year we had a really quick turnaround from Wednesday to Friday, but last year we worked so hard on trying to just slow them down. They were so good offensively. And we were 12 seconds short. I think that's how much time we had when we turned the ball over late before they called a foul on us. But it never gets old, and the thing about it is, our kids expect to do well, and they put the work in and the time, and hopefully we get to do it a little bit longer.
You said that loss from last year was definitely extra motivation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you send? I thought I saw in State Journal, were you sending them?
Yeah, there may have been some innuendo involved with text messages and not, from the clips from last year's game. I made the statement to our kids that night we would never lose to them again, and so far so good.
1 for 1 for that.
Right. Yeah.
So you're going to the Mingy Beef Jerky girls basketball Sweet 16 at Rupp Arena. How do you get your team together and take them to a place that size and kind of keep their heads in the game? What's your game plan for that?
Well, we always tell our kids the ball nor the scoreboard know where the game is played. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to be able to convince them of that when, the bright lights come on.
Right.
State tournament, we call it the bright lights. Mm-hmm. And there'll be, 8,000 people in there probably Wednesday night. But you just have to keep trying to be proactive on how you prepare them mentally and know that they're going to have to fight through some nerves and adversity. And really – after those first 2 or 3 minutes, can we just settle down and play our brand of basketball? And hopefully so. You never know until you get them in front of those lights.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, you're probably a little bit prepared for that, right? Just the first couple of minutes are kind of like nerves.
Right.
Just a nerve game, and then you kind of have to maybe call a timeout and settle.
Right, and we have some kids that have played in some state tournaments. Brooklyn was around when we were when she was playing as a middle schooler on the state runner-up team, but Jasmine Simpson's been to the state tournament. Lake and Hamlin's been to the state tournament. Those kids have been around and know sort of what to expect, and they're going to have to relay that information to other people and be good leaders this week.
You mentioned Brooklyn Miles. It's interesting for us since we've gotten to see her play for such a long time. Mm-hmm. Tell us how nice it's been to see her kind of blossom and develop into the player that she is today.
Well, I think she's had a really good second half of the season. She and I talked about that after the game on Friday night. Her shooting's better from the perimeter. Her ability to make good decisions, not quick decisions, have improved. And then, she's really stepped it up defensively, guarding the other team's best guard for us the second semester primarily. And you can, as much pressure as she can put on the ball, you can pretty much negate whoever that is on the other team.
So we're taking a look at the bracket. We've got it pulled up here on our laptop. And so you got Anderson County first game. So it's Wednesday night, 8 o'clock at Rupp Arena. Tell us what you think going into that game and, how you feel. And, looking at the rest of the bracket, I know it's one game at a time. But how do you feel going into that?
Well, they beat us 10 in January. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like either team played great in that game. I thought we got manhandled defensively. I thought they really pushed us out on the floor and made us do some things we weren't comfortable doing. So we've got our hands full. They've got good size. They're about 8 or 9 deep. Most of those kids can put it on the floor and shoot. So you got to be real careful about what you do to them defensively because they're not one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. And a lot of girls' teams are one-dimensional. But they're not. I think they're top 5 good. I think the top bracket is heavy compared to the bottom bracket. Okay. I don't think it's the best draw in the world. We, a couple times that we were fortunate enough to go to the state tournament, I thought we got a real good draw. Mm-hmm. I think most of your heavyweight matches in the first round are in the top bracket, and we'll just see. And you got to have a little bit of luck. And you got to stay injury free, and you got to make foul shots, which is something we haven't done consistently. And you have to get off to really good starts each night from a game plan perspective. You've really got to be able to go in and take something away from something because everybody's good at most everything that gets to this point.
So I've got a couple pictures pulled up here.
Yeah.
Tell me what it's like to see this picture and then a couple years later see this picture. What's that like, personally for you as a coach?
Well, it's funny. We say at our house that we named our dog Diddle because that's where the girls' state tournament was, and I was trying to brainwash my kids by making them say that name so much when they were little. And Diddle's still with us. She's getting pretty old, so she made it through one more state tournament, even though we're not buying another dog and naming it Rupp. Somebody said that Friday night. No, we don't have 2 dogs. Not going to. But it's been a blessing to coach my kids. And really, all these kids are friends with my kids. So they've eaten off my table. They've jumped on our trampoline. They've been to our house. And I think those connections with those families, because of them growing up with my daughters, makes it easy. Mm-hmm. Makes it easier. Nothing's easy in coaching in 2020. Easier would be a better word. So, but it's been fun, and I can remember going to the state championship game with them when they were little, and they were asking all these questions and this, that, and the other, and that's sort of been our identity throughout the years is girls basketball.
So, game's at 8:00 on Wednesday night. There's plenty of time for people to get off work, grab something to eat, go to the game. What do you want to say to all your fans and Fire Nation supporters and of Franklin County basketball in general to get them out there and get them to support the team? Well,
I think the kids have earned the right to be supported Wednesday night. They go about their business every day, and they truly care that the standard is the standard at Franklin County High School athletically. Mm-hmm. So I would invite everybody to come up, pack the place out. I think it'll be a great, great crowd. We had great support Friday night. I hope all those people come back. I hope our students really get out and support us this week. And, I feel like that our kids are ready. You never know till the ball's thrown up, but I feel like they're ready to go perform the way our fans would want them to.
Okay. And as you mentioned, or we talked about it off air, destination isn't quite as long.
Right. It's very geographically correct, for Frankfort people to be there and be loud. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, thanks, Joey, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Folks can check out that game Wednesday, 8:00 against Anderson County.
Yeah, and tickets go on sale today at Franklin County at 11:15.
Okay, awesome.
And then T-shirts go on sale tomorrow right around that same time. Tickets are $13. T-shirts are $15. There's a limited amount of both. So I would encourage people to get out and get those as soon as they can.
Yeah, got to get one T-shirt, right?
Right, exactly. Yep.